Hope your 2022 is off to a great start. I just wanted to share a quick tutorial for the simple Airbnb management Notion dashboard that we put together to manage some of our team tasks and to manage some of the responsibilities and to-do items associated with our listings, as well as the contact list for some of the key points of contact, such as handymen, plumbers, HVAC people, painters, etc. So the first thing that you're going to do once you've duplicated this listing or duplicated this template is go into the listings view. This just gives you a really bird's eye simple overview of your listings. As time goes by, we'll be adding more and more features to this, such as the channels that it's listed on and certain revenue things and occupancy numbers and metrics. But for now, this is what it looks like. So to create a listing, you go into this new button right here and choose this template. You'll choose a listing name, such as my awesome, and some of the metadata associated with it, such as the status, whether it's actively listed or not, the city, the state, and the address. Again, you don't need to fill all of these in, but it will help down the road as this template becomes more and more sophisticated. The meat and potatoes is within this tasks overview here in this task dashboard. So this has a number of different views that you can look at the tasks and to-dos associated with your listing. So most of you are going to spend most of your time in the status view over here. So this will show you exactly where certain tasks are in the pipeline and what listings and what team members they're associated with. So as you complete tasks or as tasks get created, you move them from next up to in progress to completed. And this just gives your team a really good overview to see exactly where there might be backlogs, what's going on, what's getting fixed, what's getting done. So to create new tasks, it's quite simple. You just click, kind of like with the listings, with this new button right here. Click on task. And we could say something like repaint. I wish I had a villa, but so you'll put your team members in here. The template automatically puts me, but you'll just delete that and put your own team member in here. You can put a due date for when you want, or like when something needs to get done by. So if you've got a big group coming next Friday, you could say something like Wednesday the 15th and then remind, stuff like that. Then the things that are going to be pretty important are the tags, the listing, and the team. So the team is what aspect of, or what type of person or what type of team is going to be handling that particular thing. So because this is a repainting thing, it's going to be maintenance. And tags, you could say something like important. So you can create your own teams and tags. If you have a team like landscaping, for example, but it's not in one of these, you can just do landscaping. So it's really, oh, I'm having some trouble typing today. So it's really, yeah, whatever. So it's really, whoops. Okay, I definitely need a coffee. Yeah, so it's really customizable in terms of the tags and the teams that are doing this. And then for the listing, you'll want to do it, let's say, Villa Fantastica. And now you've created this task. And let's say that you haven't started it yet. It's in your next up. As you get started with it, you'll move it into in progress, and then once you're done with it, you'll move it into completed. The reason why this is really cool is because you can have a really good overview as to exactly what listings have what tasks associated with them, who's working on what task, and how big your backlog is. And then the last section in terms of our quick dashboards here is the contact list. So we use something like this to keep track of some of the really key points of contact that we'd have for maintenance, for handymen, for house cleaning, support, etc. So like with the other two sections, just go under new, contact name, let's say Bob. Bob is a plumber. His email will be this, his name will be that, and then you can add any additional notes about him, such as, pricing per hour, previous projects that he's done, just to give your team a little bit of a sense of, who these people are, what they're good at, and what kind of projects you might use them for. The last template that we made is the listing template that we use templates like this to send to guests before they arrive, just to make it easier for them to check in and get some information about the listing and about the local area. So this is duplicated in a little bit of a different way. We'd recommend not modifying the specific listing template, but let's say you want to make a listing for, an Italian villa or a Nordic mansion or whatever the case may be. Just go in here, click duplicate, and this will be the page associated with that particular listing. So we could do something like the Nordic Castle. You can change the cover photo or any of the, we'll just use a random one. But obviously, we'd recommend using photographs of your actual listings. But basically what you're going to have in this page is a guidebook of sorts, or a homepage for your guests to go to that's going to have all the relevant information to them related to their arrival, house rules, amenities, connectivity, etc. So this main page is just going to have a table of contents for the sub-pages that are going to have information relevant to them, as well as the locations. So we'd recommend putting your contact info here and the location, so when they're arriving, they have a pretty easy way to see or basically to see where they're going. So we'd first recommend putting together the arrival information. When you click on this link, it'll give you the ability to embed a Google map with the location. So if we go into Google Maps, you could do something like here. So this will be your Google Maps link. You paste that in here. So you'd probably do your address, not necessarily the location, but you'd plug in your address here. That'll give you a Google Maps link, and then you paste that in here. We recommend adding instructions for getting there, so from places like the airport, how to get there by car, parking, and then a few pictures just to help them find the actual listing. If it's an apartment or something that might be harder to find, and then some details on how to get the keys if you're comfortable sharing that. Some people might not be comfortable sharing that, but because it is a unique link, it's typically pretty secure. And then we have a couple of other sections that are, feel free to fill out at your own leisure. So we've got, critical emergency information, 911, and then who to call if there's like a leak or a fire, God forbid, or, broken AC. House rules, we're working on putting a full template for this together, but we realize that everybody has different rules, so this is something that you probably just copy and paste over from existing like Word documents or Google pages that you might already have. We put Wi-Fi and connectivity as its own section because this is something that we get the most questions about, and we just wanted to make it unmissable. So you have your network names and your your passwords, and then some of the amenities that might be associated with your listing. If you've got a gym or parking or pool or proximity to certain things, put them in there. Just something that your guests could rely on instead of asking you about these specific things. And then if you feel inclined, just some local information about the area that you're in. So we tend to, we're pretty focused on making sure our guests have a great time. So we try to be as detailed as possible over here and just, number one, maximize their understanding of the area that they're staying in, and giving them the right suggestions to go to the right places, avoiding tourist traps and stuff like that. But also to minimize the amount of time that we spend answering these types of questions, which is done by giving them all of this information up front. So for these pages, the way that you share them is that you go up here, share this, and basically copy this link that they could then use to view that particular page. So this one, you'll have that link that they can see that with, or email them directly to see that page. And then you can always reset the link and make it invisible again if you don't want them to have access to that page. So that's the basic overview of our Airbnb management template. Like I said earlier, we're working on a number of improvements to this management template, as well as a detailed real estate / Airbnb investing template that's going to help you understand your portfolio and potential new purchases or rentals or acquisitions. So please let us know if you've got any questions about that. We'd love to hear your feedback or what you think might be useful within an Airbnb management template or a portfolio management template. Thank you so much. Hope you get some useful use out of this.